Blessings, guys. What's up? This video was originally supposed to be on how you make how I do my CMOS mask. But as I was recording it, iMovie messed up on my phone and deleted everything. So I have no choice but to start over with the video. But I said, you know what? That happened for a reason. This is how I know that I'm managing my patience and I am mastering it, because you could do is laugh at how frustrated and I'm saying you can be at that, because I was editing that video all day. But whatever, now we're here and we're talking about alkalinity, lifestyle, how I became, you know, someone who incorporates the alkaline lifestyle so much within themselves and their life and around them. So that's what this video is going to be about. I needed to make the video anyways and let y'all know what brought me to alkalinity, the lifestyle, how I pretty much got here. So to this point in my life, and all I can say is that it starts with the journey of life that I have been taken on. At first, it wasn't something that I chose or that I wanted to do, not something that I was happy with doing, content with, but I had no choice but to stop resisting and become aware, and that's the end of all suffering, when you stop resisting. So I embraced it. I embraced the lifestyle, learned as much as I could from it, and just did what I needed to do. But to backtrack and talk about what brought me to alkaline lifestyle, I feel that I would have lived this way either way. It just would have been a different journey. How connected I am and aware I have become, this is only fate. But I know when I was younger, even as a child, I was so connected, and I knew that there was more to life. I knew that I just connected with nature and space and the stars so well, and just myself, and knowing, you know, just knowing, the all ever knowing. And when I was little, I would always play outside, and in the middle of playing, I would stop and just get on top of my dad's car and look up at the stars and just meditate. And what is a kid to know at about 5-6 years old to stop playing and get on a car and meditate and look up at the stars and just admire its beauty? I would help my mom garden in the back. You know, when she would go inside, I would come back out and I would take her kitchen bowl and make some blends out of the leaves and flowers that are there and pretend I came up with some concoction. Yeah, when I was younger, I was so creative. That's how I got into sewing before, which I will explain that in a bit. But when I was younger, my grandmother taught us how to sew clothing on our Barbie dolls. So I understood and learned how to sew by hand first with needle and thread when I was younger. But I was so creative, into my creative side. I was always acting, dancing, just full of life, filled with so much life. Whenever the kids would get out of school, we lived in front of a middle school, and whenever the middle schoolers and high schoolers would get out, they would have to walk past my house. I would just be on the porch dancing to Destiny's Child and the girls, the Spice Girls, and just pretending to be them and just performing, putting on a show. I was just filled with so much energy. See, my parents needed to put us into acting, continue us with singing, or you know, because we would have, I don't know, I would still be alkaline though. Maybe not at this point in time, maybe not in 2018, but you know. Yes, I was filled with so much life when I was younger, and then we moved down here to Florida, and I was beginning to suffer with so much anxiety and depression at such a young age. Didn't understand why, didn't understand what I was going through, but it was what it is. And I know my parents didn't understand what it was either, because I was having to go to different therapists. They had me on medications. At just 12 years old, I was taking Zoloft. Yeah, Zoloft I was taking. Before I thought it was Xanax, but it's not Xanax, Zoloft. So I was taking that at a young age and just experiencing, you know, feeling so alone, not feeling like I fit in, wanting to know more at such a young age, wanting to know more, wanting to do something else, knowing that I did not want to be in school, or this was the place that I wanted to be. I was just off. After that, period came on, you know, the hormones starting at that age, and off rip, it was all over the place. My hormones were not where they needed to be, and again, went to the doctors, and was prescribed medication. So I was prescribed birth control at about 13, 14 years old, and birth control from that age up until I was 22. And with that, they were putting me on different pills within a short time frame, like nothing. I tried maybe about 6 different birth control pills in less than 6 months. I have my fruit bowl here. This is what you call a fruit bowl. Sorry, we vibing. When I was younger, did not like drinking water. Did not like drinking water at all. And then my kidneys were messing up. So I had no choice but to begin the process of drinking water. That way my kidneys are good. So just experiencing little health problems like that. And then I had a bump in my chest. And when that happened, I did not know what to do. I was scared, I was petrified, did not know what was going on, where to go from here, did not understand. I had a lump and it was a tumor in my chest. So I had surgery on that, and I had about 4 more after that, and it came up each year. So each year surgery for chest tumors, and I kept asking the doctor, what is this from? Why am I getting tumors? What am I drinking? What am I doing wrong? What am I eating? How can I stop this so I can not have tumors anymore? I don't have to keep getting surgery. But she said, you know, you're a tumor farm. Just come back when it comes back up again and we'll just, you know, take it out. What? You don't even care about my well-being to even tell me? How did this come about? Why would you allow someone to suffer for your own pockets? You have an idea of where it's coming from, which maybe they don't because doctors don't know much, but you know, communicate and be there for someone and uplift them. But you know, doctors only care about the money, the medications, and what they get paid. So then I got into a car accident back in 2015. It was pretty bad, on bed rest for a whole year. Couldn't move, had to get hip surgery, couldn't move my whole left side. I went out through the driver's side window. Can't feel on this side of my head, it's numb still. Just having to go to the doctors for years, man. It got worse as well, and things piled up because I kept getting into car accidents. I was getting into a car accident maybe twice a year or once a year. So 4 bad car accidents after that. I got into a pile up on 95, a truck ran into me at a red light, and all of those, I believe 100% was manifestations physically from what was going on within me. So I was not at a good place to go through all of that, and then being on bed rest and, you know, starting a business. Actually, when the time that I got into the first car accident where, you know, the longest where I was on bed rest for a whole year, you know, starting my swimwear line. And I was so determined and focused that even when I barely could move, I was in the bed sewing. And and it was just tough having a business that you just love so much, you put so much forth into it, and you're not able to perform, you're not able to do all that you can for it because of your health. I went on for years because I was doing the swimwear for 5 years until recently when my health started getting worse. But for the past few years, I wasn't able to perform well with Exotic Swim, with my swimwear line. I keep going to get surgery for my chest. I was getting into car accidents and having to be on bed rest. And with me already being in bad shape from the first one, the car accidents just were not helping me. I was starting to get bad chest pains. My heart was starting to become a problem. I fell a few times. I started having extreme chest pain. What else? I had to wear a heart monitor for a whole month. My iron, I had anemia before, not so severe, and anemia runs through my family, but I had severe anemia to where my hair was falling out, extremely pale, no energy whatsoever. I would go to work, come home, and go straight to sleep. I didn't have any energy to be up, to make food, to do anything. I didn't want to speak to anyone. I didn't want to speak to family, to have friends. Things manifest and things flow within this life physically, all dependent upon how we are within and what state our mind in, what frequency and state our body is in, what energy frequency we're in, and being able to become aware and still within different moments, and just understanding how to move through life, you know? And that brought me to alkalinity. I tried different ways of eating, different ways of diets, the paleo diet, the vegetarian, vegan, a raw diet. I tried different ways of eating, different ways of living, and it was not helping. I was getting worse. And I learned about Dr. Sebi maybe about 4 years ago, I believe. And I learned about him. I was intrigued. I resonated. I connected immediately. And I always kept him in my thoughts and in my heart, but I did not follow the way of living. And I believe that it happened the way that it did at the right moment that it did. So last year, I went completely raw. I just woke up one day, was just fed up, just fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. And I was getting worse and worse. And I said, okay, I'm going to go back to Dr. Sebi and go to where my heart is guiding me and see how I feel. So before to Usha village, which I went to Usha in January of this year, 2018, but this happened around October, and I said I'm going to do the alkaline diet. And as I was doing, it was very difficult, but when, I was blessed with the chance to go to Usha village for the time that I did and to heal at that particular time. And my journey has led me here, flowing at the pace that it needed to. And I had to endure all of that and endure the pain and the depression and loneliness of not being understood, not being able to be creative and be filled with energy and to be successful and to focus, because I am an ambitious, determined, hardworking woman that I need to work. When I have my mind set on something, that something is getting done. So, and I build and I am creative and I'm so strong-willed that with me not being able to do that, it tears down the spirit so much. Healing the way that I did solidified it so much more to remain in this lifestyle because of how connected we are within our roots, and that this is how we're supposed to live and to be, and the perspective we're supposed to have on life and healing and love. And even what we put into our body, it brings a spiritual connection. It brings a connection between the mind, body, and spirit. Truly, our parents didn't know, and their parents didn't know, and for years, hundreds of years, we've been used to living this certain way from birth, and we've been taught that this is the way of living and this is how it's supposed to go. But awareness precedes everything, and understanding that before this we were within our root and we were living well for this isn't something that we need within our life. And having this in our life is bringing mental damage, bringing spiritual damage, and that's what resonated with me most, is the mind. Upfulness is not only with what you consume or what you put on your body, but within the mind and living at a high energy state. This body right here is not us. We are not who we think we are. I am not Chantel. I am not this body, but a divine worker through this body, through this vessel. And I desire to know how to work through this vessel. That way I can do what I want throughout life at the highest energy state possible. Getting within, right, and allowing abundance to flow in and allowing everything to flow the way that it needed to. And now that I'm able to be still and to come to awareness and overstand everything, and being able to slow things down and to break it down so easily, and to approach things in a non-resistant way, in a love state, in love at the root, I'm able to succeed in everything that I need to. I'm able to allow abundance and prosperity to flow through. Okay, we're back. Sorry, I had to make a cup of tea. I gotta stay on my game too, so I'm always drinking my tea. This one I have here is burdock, blue vervain, and valerian. We're upful and we're alkaline and we're filled with life and electric. Back to our regularly scheduled program. If you all have any questions on alkaline living and how to transition, a few good tips to start or whichever, I will be putting up a few videos on that to help you all. But if y'all have any questions, if y'all want to vibe with me, if you just want to talk, send some love. If you want some love sent to you, whichever, just let me know and vibe with me. Appreciate you all. Blessings. Mwah. Love. Upfulness. High vibration. Listen to some good music. Be in good spirits. Eat some fruit. Drink some upful tea. So